Welcome back everyone to another market review for E-mini NASDAQ, and today is Tuesday, August 27th. And going into the day, I was looking to be bullish. Firstly, obviously due to we were extremely below midnight price, but I'm going to get to that in a little later. And starting here on the daily chart, the only levels really I was looking at was this small new day opening gap. I'm going to show you guys here by zooming in. That was an area of interest for me. And then we also had this daily BISI high. Because if you guys draw, let's say if you put a rectangle here, this BISI, or some of you may call it a fair value gap, the high of it right here, you see price taps into it and we go in higher in price. We could possibly be seeing this as a breakaway gap and price trading up higher into this inefficiency up here. And this is also, price is also in a breaker because you have low, high, lower low, higher high. If you draw the last up close candle and draw it out, we see prices in that bullish breaker currently. So that could possibly be indicating we see this stay open as a breakaway gap, trading price up higher here. Or if price wants to also respect this daily bearish order block, which we have been respecting bearish PD arrays on the daily, we could be seeing price head back into this inefficiency here. Now, dropping down to our 15-minute. And on this 15-minute, I was looking at the previous day low here. And we also, it looks like it to be clean lows. As you can see, this low, and this low. It's really clean. So price, it takes liquidity down there. It stop hunts, and then we go back to the other side, indicating a Judah swing because price went lower, then went higher, taking out the lowest point and the highest point of the range. And then we also see, remember, like I said before, we tapped into that daily BISI high. So this was really a lot of things aligned really well for this trade. But my main premise was on that midnight open. During leading up to that session, we were really below that midnight open. In addition to including that previous day low and the daily BISI high. And my overall target for the day was this hourly buy side liquidity up here. That was my final terminus. It was just a little too clean. And you can also see on the left, we have an inefficiency right here. And look at how the bodies respect that perfectly. So if you draw that out and you mark that, you can see, look at how price perfectly rejects right on it. Now, dropping down to the 1 minute, seeing what we were looking at here. As we can see, price is going, it's taking liquidity on its way down, leading up into the session, which is what we like to see. And then price we displace upward, leading a breakaway gap. Now, looking at breakaway gaps are really interesting because they give you a sense of direction and bias on where price wants to head towards, especially if you align that with daily narrative, because you have that daily BISI high as well, and then you also have the equal highs on that hourly chart. And then we see price, we do to another breakaway gap as well. We still haven't started it, but only right here we finally started it, filling this fair value gap in here. And it's sort of choppy. I also drew out the 10 a.m. opening price. I highly recommend that, as this will help you with that ICT power of 3. And we see price consolidates in here because remember, this gray zone is that new day opening gap. So price is really struggling to get past it. It finally does, taking out buy stops because retail's trying to sell. You can see with all those wicks, we break above it. That's your key. We're still below that midnight opening price right here. We trade back up into that fair value gap, respecting it, and then we trade higher. We have another breakaway gap, which is what you want to see, and we also take buy stops right here, clean highs that were formed actually during ICT's Caleb model from that 7 to 8 a.m. session. And then also in addition, we have this this wick here. Now ICT says depending on where price is, you can utilize wicks as gaps, and look at how price respects consequent encroachment of that wick specifically. And then from there, we finally reach our final terminus target from the overall day that we were looking towards. So the day was still clean. Some adjustments that I would have, if this upward movement, it happened a little later within the session, it would have been more ideal. Just because I don't like to see price move so dramatically in one direction ahead of the session. But everything was there. We were also below midnight open, which was still crucial. And in addition, today we had, I believe it was 1 high impact news and 2 medium impact news from that 9 to 10 a.m. Window range for that. But overall, it was still a pretty clean price action day. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment down below if you guys have any questions, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next review. Peace.